With YouTube attacking alternative media, please consider supporting the channel via Patreon for just $1 per month. Link below. As I've talked about many times before, I do believe that Rotten Tomatoes is a website that should not have the prominence it does. People put so much emphasis on it. It's just, in my opinion. And I'll probably keep talking about it until the freaking end of time. Or the end of Rotten Tomatoes, whichever comes first. But there's been a movement from a group of people that have been labeled like alt-right haters and, like racists and things like that, trying to attack the Black Panther movie. As we've learned, people who gave, even the guy who gave the movie a negative review, some people on Twitter were calling the person a racist, right? Because now if you just dislike something, you are a racist, apparently. But it says here that the cast of Black Panther is not worried about a now defunct online group who sought to sandbag the film with negative buzz. They think it's just sad. Well, yeah, it is sad, but again, it's they wanted to sandbag the film with negative buzz. Again, I just have to reiterate this because this is a fact, to go after Disney, right? In my original video talking about this, I titled it Star Wars Haters. I probably should have clarified that maybe a little bit better, but it's Star Wars haters that are going after this, not necessarily the alt-right, even though the person who runs it does claim to be a member of the alt-right, but it's just, you can't, I mean, he's not doing it in the name of the alt-right. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where we find ourselves in terms of this discussion. Now, talking with the Associated Press on Friday, Chadwick Boseman said he does not read reviews in general, but he was made aware of a Facebook group attempting to flood Rotten Tomatoes with poor audience scores, saying, "I definitely thought about it, and I think you really don't know how big of an impact that's going to be." So he said, whatever they do online doesn't really matter, which is true. The movie is going to be huge, right? Like, if these guys were correct and they were able to tack the Star Wars The Last Jedi audience score, which is still sitting at like a 48%, if they were able to attack that and then they were able to really get that score down there, it had no real impact, I don't think. I think poor word of mouth from the audience is what had that steep decline. Also, in China, they thought that they were being pandered to, like their intelligence levels were being pandered to. So that was interesting criticism there. Now, it says here, Rotten Tomatoes spoke out against the group and Facebook intervened, deactivating the group earlier this month. The group name went by "Down with Disney's treatment of franchises and its fanboys," and made unsubstantiated claims that somehow the studio manipulated press to generate negative coverage of Warner Brothers DC films. See, I think that was a bit of a MacGuffin. And I said that before and I reiterate that point. It feels like it's a deflection, because there's no way that happened, for one. And two, given their other criticisms that I've read about, them hating what Disney did with Star Wars being the reason, I just find that to be such a weird thing. Now, it says, "We here at Rotten Tomatoes are proud to have become a platform for passionate fans to debate and discuss entertainment, and we take that responsibility seriously. While we respect our fans' diverse opinions, we do not condone hate speech. Our team of security, network, and social experts continue to closely monitor our platforms, and any users who engage in such activities will be blocked from our site and their comments removed as quickly as possible." So some people have taken that to mean that they're going to basically start deleting people for wrong thing. And I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I'm pretty sure if it's, if you go on there and you start dropping the N-bomb pretty hardcore, they're going to get rid of you, and I think pretty much any website would do that. So that's just going to happen. Now, Boseman's co-star Letitia Wright and Daniel Kaluuya also said, "Shame on them. Everyone is just focused forward. Those people are at the back." But see, at that point, what's going on here is Letitia Wright is equating that to a racist thing, because that is how the media portrayed it. The media portrayed it as being this hugely racist situation. It wasn't. It simply wasn't at all. They were, like I said, they're trying to attack Disney's bottom line. This is a Disney movie. That's why they're saying, oh, we're also going to do the same thing for Avengers Infinity War. So that's the truth of it. It makes me sad that no one talks about that. Like, I feel like the media here is being, wholly irresponsible as a result of all this. I feel they're doing that simply because they can get away with it. I do. I think they can get away with it. I think they can play this angle, and it's going to deflect from any valid criticism that could be levied at the way Disney's handled Star Wars as a franchise, or way that Disney is handling anything, or how they feel it treats fans of franchises. that that in and of itself is still a valid criticism. People can have those opinions, but when they latch on to one line of dialogue or one thing and they use that to as the basis for their entire response to the argument, you know, nothing gets done. So Rotten Tomatoes, as I said, is not going to sit there and actually, you know, like come out and say that they've been able, you know, that these guys have manipulated anything, because if they come out and if they admit that there is a weakness, that's their Achilles heel. But at that point, they will never be able to recover. So they basically have to come out and say, everything is fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good. It's fine. You're fine. We're fine. Everything is fine. We're fine. And then go from there. Because, you know, so these guys claim that they had an impact on The Last Jedi. And they say that because there have been reviews that they have written for The Last Jedi that popped up on other movies as well. And so that's led people to believe that this bot, it worked, right? That it did in fact work. But Rotten Tomatoes won't come out and actually say it because it would damage their overall reputation, which is one of the reasons why, too, a lot of the people that are defending the situation are also trying to defend Rotten Tomatoes, because it's become this be-all, end-all of how a movie is rated in Hollywood, and that is, well, quite sad.